Hi, everyone, and thanks for joining us today for another episode of the Jason's Take On. Today, we're very excited to have a special guest. Marty Kaufman here is joining us, and I'm joined as well by my co-host, Jason Noble. Jason, say hello.
Hello. Good morning, good afternoon, everybody. As Jason said, really excited for another guest podcast. We really love doing these. And Marty, awesome to have you with us.
Great.
No, thank you. Appreciate the opportunity.
Fantastic. So, we're really excited here because Marty is a customer success leader and performance executive, trainer, consultant. He's done a lot of great things. And he's also the former VP of customer experience at Wedding Wire, which is now the Knot Worldwide. I had a chance to meet Marty at a local meetup where he was on a panel I was moderating and was really blown away by a lot of his ideas and experience and insights, and thought it'd be great to have him come join us. So we're really excited about that. And as you know, here at the Jason's Take On, we're really advocating for and looking for people to be bold in customer success. And Marty's got some great experience and ideas, so I hope you'll enjoy this conversation. And today, Marty's going to share his ideas and insights around how marketing and customer success can actually collaborate to achieve one-to-many influence. And we're really excited because I know it's an important topic, and a lot of organizations out there struggle with their one-to-many models and making them effective and really engaging with customers. So Marty, thank you so much for being here today.
Yeah, no, of course. It's a topic I've had to spend a lot of time with. So the pain that other people feel is certainly one that I'm familiar with.
Excellent. So to jump right into Marty, why don't you go ahead and just tell everyone a little bit about yourself and your background, create some context for the conversation, and then we'll jump in.
Great. So as you said in the intro, I was the founding and now former vice president of customer experience at Wedding Wire. It's a term that encompassed support, success, renewal sales, even end-to-end everything for large strategic accounts. So it was a kind of a portfolio-based position, but all of it was focused on really trying to optimize everything we did with our customers from that initial point of sale all the way through to the rest of their life cycle with us. And it was an excellence. I was there at the time when a lot of these terms around customer success and customer experience were starting to be taken at least a little more seriously or a little more formally. We've been trying to put definition to a lot of those things. But even before those experiences, I'll go back almost 20 years now and say I was doing customer success work with large technology companies, going on site with our customers to do end user education, implementation, make sure that time to value was as small as possible. So this whole idea of what has become success, or even more broadly customer experience, is where I've been swimming for the better part of the last 20 years. And it's really exciting to see so much passion and effort now behind kind of formalizing the discipline of all of this.
Yeah,
I love
absolutely.
the way you kind of talk about that end-to-end everything, because I think that is such a key thing. And I think lots of us who've kind of come up from the days before when it wasn't customer success absolutely have come from all sorts of different backgrounds and experience. And we've said before, I think that adds so much more to what you can offer your customers.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah, I agree. I think someday we may get to a point where there's people who have their whole career just being customer success, and that's great, but that's also going to lack a little bit of the, I guess, diversity and dynamism of the folks that are in this field. Yeah, because they come from so many different places. Yeah. It's not like you sit down with people and instantly agree on 90% of how to do what we do. There's still great energy behind co-creating what we're doing and sharing all those ideas.
Yeah, definitely. So speaking of great ideas, I know when we were chatting earlier, you shared with me some of your ideas about how marketing customer success can collaborate, to help drive this one-to-many success. Before we get into the specifics here, what do you see as the biggest opportunity here, and why is it important for these two groups to collaborate?
Yeah, I think first, the opportunity. I think the big opportunity itself is moving this relationship between success and marketing from what is typically a tactical project-based relationship to a strategic outcome-based relationship. That's going to make all sorts of differences for the company, for the customers, for the team. But so the opportunity is this shift from tactical and project-based to strategic and outcomes-based. I'm sure we'll talk a little bit more about the how-to on that as we go on, but it's important. I mean, we've got two functions that are basically trying to achieve the same goals, but doing it from two very different perspectives. I use the metaphor of the mountain quite a bit. Like, we are both trying to climb to that same pinnacle, but starting at very different base camps between the folks in marketing and the folks in customer success. And so if you want to unify all these aspects of your company or your brand, like, we don't speak the same language, we don't necessarily share the entire journey, but for marketing and for customer success to both like make good on their promise of the value we provide to our companies, we should be unified. Like all these buzzwords out there, the one voice, one company, unified customer experience, omni-channel, omnipresent, omni yada, yada, yada. Like all of that suggests that we are already collaborating, not just with our tools and stuff, but truly we are one voice, one company. And if the folks with the biggest touch on the customer success in a one-to-one sense and marketing in a one-to-many, if they're not truly aligned, we're probably not making good on the potential of omni fill in the blank. So that's kind of the why behind that big opportunity for me.
What do you see of some of the big challenges as to why we're not there? Because I think it's an awesome place to try and get to. And I think we've all spent time with organizations that have been on that transition, but equally many organizations that just haven't made it. And I think one of the big challenges I've seen is that a lot of organizations are still focusing marketing on new business. There's nobody doing marketing to existing customers, that kind of customer marketing. But what are some of the big challenges that you've seen, and how do you think we get around those?
Yeah, I'll give a +1 to what you just mentioned, which is the specialization around this. And I think it is emerging. So the reason there's even a title now of acquisition marketing is because there's something other than acquisition out there. So those people had to get a little bit better defined. And the other piece of that is either retention marketing or customer marketing. It doesn't have the same history, but at least there is some there. So I'm optimistic, but you're right. That is not the typical environment does not have that specialization necessarily coming from the marketing team, especially in smaller organizations where the resources are not as highly specialized.
Right.
I think another, most of the organizations I work with would actually say they do collaborate between success and marketing. Like we do that, but we, again, need to separate out that working together. Yes, of course, success and marketing work together, but are we really collaborating to achieve the same goals with the same metrics? And I think that's the, one of the big challenges. So the first one is that different cultures and different languages, right? So we're coming from two different places, like I said before, but to maybe put some actual detail to that, I'm overgeneralizing, so nobody needs to comment about how overly generalized this is, but the work cadence for a success team or a success team member is often like plan, do, and there's a constant doing. Or plan and then do, like just apply the same thing to 100 customers. Yeah. That cadence of working is the complete opposite of a typical marketing cadence, which is plan, and then do something big, right? And then evaluate it. So marketing is investing a lot of effort up front to do that one thing really, really well, and then they'll do it again and again, right? But whereas success is like a million microtransactions in terms of how we operate. And the second one is language. We don't even agree on the basics. Like, are we talking about customers or logos or companies or the individuals within the companies that even when we get together, we're not even at that basic level always aligned unless we put some effort behind getting intentionally aligned. And then the second one is the one that you mentioned, like it is not typically somebody's job to be the collaboration point between success and marketing. And we need more people, even if it's not their job title to do it, adopting it as their role or as their responsibility to make sure that it happens.
Right. Let me ask you,
sorry, go on, Jason.
I was going to ask, since we all come from a customer success background and we see the value in cross-company collaboration and see, marketing, sales, and product, we all need to play nicely. Do you find that most marketing groups have the same desire? Do they even feel this is a priority for them, when it's kind of outside their remit usually?
I'm not, so I thought I had a quick answer there, and then I realized it might not be fair. It's like probably a big recency effect. So I wanted to take a moment and think about that. I think the desire is there. And some of this will get into I know we're going to talk a little bit about best practices and things that we've seen that work pretty well. And one of them really is like got to get together on sharing what the metrics are, what are the outcomes. That's that whole idea of moving from tactical to strategic, is what we're sharing is not just like splitting the effort. We're both focusing on the exact same outcome with the same definition. And I think that's there are times where, yes, marketing is coming in and saying the outcome we need to achieve is the same thing that success wants to achieve. So let's do that together. But I don't think it typically starts that way. So again, I'm not talking about 100%, but the typical setup will be marketing wanting an outcome of clicks or calls to action. They're trying to drive behavior. It's, all good stuff, but at a one-to-many, whereas success is going to be focused on getting the customer to do a specific thing that we know adds value to either, adds to the LTV, or it's a behavior that indicates, increase in retention probability, or we know makes people happy if they're logging in more or using our product more, whatever it may be in your specific situation, that we don't arrive looking at the same set of metrics that will define our overall successful outcomes. Mm-hmm. So it's a long-winded way of saying probably not. Like the majority of times I see it, we at least initially arrive right with a slightly different definition, but that doesn't mean it has to stay that way.
Oh yeah.
So you take that awareness and then get it together. Yeah.
I was even thinking a step back too, where traditionally a lot of marketing groups have been incentivized and rewarded, and performance measured was how many leads they get into the sales funnel. It's not been those other pieces. So if that's what they're incentivized and rewarded for, they may not even have collaborating with customer success on their radar or as a priority for them yet. So I think there's even that step back that needs to happen. But everything that you just said, I think you're absolutely right about, the different language and metrics and all that kind of stuff. But
I think the collaboration piece is just a really interesting one, because we talk so much, I think, in customer success, we're all about collaboration, breaking down those silos, and it's a common problem that we see. But the big challenge is, I don't think organizations really realize how big a problem it is. You'd never get a business that says, well, look, we don't collaborate, we've got silos. So I don't think businesses are realizing that it's as big a problem as it is.
Yeah, or it's treated as an issue that has happened and not something that is structural and cultural.
Yes, yeah.
That's a little more pervasive, right?
True, yeah.
It's like, oh, marketing didn't notify customer success that there may be a doubling of inbound calls because of something we just sent out. Oh, darn it, you stuck it to us again. Okay, we'll deal with it. But truly what's likely happening is that there is a structural or cultural disconnect that it didn't occur to anybody to collaborate, and not just marketing, success as well. That's preventing us from seeing the easy path to shared wins.
And it does when you scale it. We're talking about marketing success here, but you've got all of the teams collaborating, and it's a big issue. And it is, I think you've hit the nail on the head there.
Yeah. You started to talk to it, and when we spoke offline too, you mentioned some ideas you had about the need for marketing success to have some shared truths. Was there more that you wanted to share on that, or that some other insights that you had, or did we cover most of that in the roundabout way?
I think it bears mentioning, and the reason is that shared truth is a prerequisite for collaboration, and this is not just marketing and success. And in any instance where you're truly trying to collaborate, you have to agree on what is true and what is not. And I think especially in this context of success in marketing, there's 4 key areas where, and in each individual instance, maybe there is more than this, but there's likely not fewer. So I think there's 4 areas where we really need to make sure that we agree on what these definitions are, and we agree or on what the statement is. And so the 4 shared truths, I would just ask people, think about it. Do you and your collaborators in marketing or product or sales, anywhere else, agree on these 4 things? And the first is the company's desired overall customer experience. Mm-hmm. The second is how you segment your customers. The third is the journey for each of those segments. And the last one is the value of the customer success function to our customers. And so I can back up and just drill into each of those real quickly, but those 4 shared truths really ensure that anything we do next has a much higher likelihood of working out well for everybody because we started from the same foundation. Mm-hmm. So the company's desired overall customer experience, not success or marketing experience, but this is for all of us, like the entire company, we're part of that experience that customers have with the company and with the brand. And so, you know, do marketing and success agree that we want our customers to experience A, B, and C, and because of that, we want them to go do X, Y, and Z? Do we agree on that? Typically, folks aren't even asking that question. We just kind of assume that, yeah, we're aligned. We all work for the same company. There's only 40 of us. Of course, we all agree. We sit next to each other all the time. But it is not the same thing. You will hear customer success people talk about, you know, we want our customers to experience a smooth sales and onboarding that proves the value of their purchase within 30 days. Marketing may talk about a totally different definition of the overall customer experience, and we need to broaden that out and share that. Mm-hmm. Segmentation, also equally important. Success and marketing work from segments. And it's the only way that we're able to kind of use some awesome marketing trickery and deliver one-to-many as if it were personalized. I shouldn't say that in the negative. It is customized and personalized, sorry. But to be able to deliver individually at scale requires marketing and success to have the same definition of who are our segments, and then what is their journey, what is their experience, not just with us, but with the entire company. And I think that's a limitation that many of us suffer from. We love our customer journeys. Let's create a journey. We have a journey map. It's beautiful. It's colored. Those are all wonderful things. But the limitation I'm seeing now out in the field is that so many of these customer journeys are not inclusive of the experience that customer is going to have with our marketing facility, that it's going to have with the product outside of their use of the product, that it's going to have with our social, either social channels that we're putting out or that they have as an option to inbound. So we're kind of limiting these journeys to what success cares about because we tend to own that piece of it. But I think we miss an opportunity by not creating a holistic journey that includes all of our collaborators, because again, that creates a great foundation. And then the last piece is that value of customer success to the customers. The reason that's important for us to collaborate on is for marketing to understand why success exists, or for success to understand why marketing may not be on the same page with that. And again, it doesn't make anybody wrong, but if we disagree on what success's purpose is, it becomes all too easy for marketing to do things on the assumption that success is there to be everything to everybody if they have an issue. So push it out. We have a success function to deal with any question they may have. That's great. If success views themselves as, no, it's my job to turn money into more money and make sure it doesn't leave, and everything that isn't that is a distraction, again, we're at cross purposes. And so that shared truth, very important for the understanding to then move forward. So I know I turned 4 quick things into a bit of a dissertation on each one. I apologize, but I think they are important. So, you know, the experience, how we define the customer, what we think their journey is, and then what the value of the function is. Once we agree on that, the rest gets pretty easy.
And you've covered some super points there. And that one about customer journeys just resonates with me. And I know Jason and I have spoken about it before, but customer journeys is such a big thing for people in customer success, but they often get kind of siloed themselves and just create customer success journey how they think it looks. Exactly like you said, your customer success, your journey for your customers starts at that initial engagement, which is the first time they hear about your organization, which is through marketing, through sales, then all the way through to when they exit or go through the cycle again. But the other thing I've seen businesses get challenged with is they don't bring the customer into those customer journeys. You know, does this match up to what the customer sees? But such key points there.
Yeah, and Marty, I was really interested in what we were talking about, the segmentation, and you know, it seems like if marketing's running off of one version of what the segmentation is and what it should be, and CS is running off the other, there's a great potential for it to be disastrous somewhere along the line for the customers, especially in that journey. And it does sort of, you know, beg the question too, who should own customer segmentation decisions, and how do you make those now, knowing that it's no longer just up for marketing to do that? I think it's going to be some interesting battlegrounds.
Yeah, it's clear to me that customer success owns the segmentation and marketing and sales, right? So I don't think it has to be, or I shouldn't say, it can't be exclusionary if we want it to work out well. we all have to feel like we own it and reach consensus on what it is.
Yep.
So easier said than done. But just because we in customer success spend more time than the others, or maybe except marketing, functioning and thinking about segments, doesn't mean that we're the exclusive owners of it.
Yeah, and I think that really comes back to the bigger idea as well of for this to truly be exciting or effective, customer success needs to be more than a department. It really needs to be that organizational wide culture and way of doing business. Your fourth point too, the value of CS function to our customers. I think that's great for marketing and CS to be aligned to that. But obviously, I think there's also the other piece too, which is sales needs to be involved in that, and marketing needs to be positioning it, and sales needs to be selling on it. And trying to get that collaboration. Sales and marketing don't always play nicely together in the sandbox these days. That's a heavy lift.
Yeah, you've introduced a third piece of the triangle there, which is sales working with marketing to promote a value proposition that likely includes success without success being a part of that discussion at that point. So kind of, takes me into one of the real common, there's a couple of common structures or frameworks where you'll see marketing and success get together. When I said it's like tactical and project-based, there's three constructs that I see most frequently. And I talked to 4 of my marketing leader colleagues about this to kind of get their point of view and their experience. And yes, there are others, but these are the 3 that kept coming up over and over again. And one of them was one-to-many expectation setting. So, and that is going out to the market and telling our customers or our prospects, this is what our success function is in our company. Excuse me. This is why you're going to love it. This is the value you're going to get from it. This is a differentiator for us. That is messaging about the success function that is setting expectations with the customers. That is a common collaboration point, or should be, between marketing and success, because we're putting a promise out in the market, and success should be a part of that, and making sure that we are able to deliver on what that promise is. Otherwise, we've created bad experience right off the bat. So that's one real common construct. And the other is success using marketing and marketing tools to actually do the work of success at scale. So being able to do one-to-many success, we will use campaigns. We will use typically the tools that the marketing team has at their disposal that sometimes we don't, to be able to orchestrate that and better manage one-to-many outreach. That's another really common one where, we should be collaborating on that. Marketing could be an awesome force multiplier for success by allowing us to do our work one-to-many more effectively than we otherwise could. And my third and favorite one, because it's often where things go wrong, but it's also really powerful, is using the success team as the call to action in something that marketing is putting out there. I would hazard a guess and say typically the success team is aware that they've been used as a call to action. That's kind of best practice. But when we go out one-to-many, whether it's a campaign or we want to do a big, we have a new product offering, so we want to cross-sell, upsell, add on 15,000 of our existing customers. Let's let them know about this and tell them that they can reach their CSM, and here's a link to call them or to email them right there in the thing. What a great way to boost revenue, to increase, all good things. You'd want that success team aware that that's happening and informing it in some way too, because every time we do that, we're putting an expectation out there. This could put the expectation out there that my CSM is my sales rep. Maybe that's true, maybe that's not, but that's something the CSM leadership will be thinking about that marketing or sales likely is not. And that's where, again, the collaboration becomes important, because every time we go out to market one-to-many and mention success, let alone use them as a call to action, we're creating an expectation at scale that that success team is going to have to make good on.
It is. It's that collaboration is what it comes back to. And I know I've seen many organizations where when success isn't there at the foundation of the business, where they're not selling it, they don't understand, your customers don't understand it. But then when it starts delivering results, it's where you need all those teams. Marketing needs to be positioning the success team as what it's delivering, the value that you're getting as a customer. They're not also getting your sales team on side. And I think without those 3 groups collaborating and getting the same messaging across, you do run into many of these challenges.
Yeah. It's a little bit of an aside, but for me, it often walks me right into what ends up being a human capital strategy problem more than anything else.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Which is we create jobs and start adding things into it that are not the jobs that we recruited for, hired for, that these people signed up for. And you end up asking somebody who may not or giving sales to people that can do the easy sales. Like, that's great. I don't need sales skill for that, right? I need sales skills for those hard to win back ones. And so getting that alignment right is really important, but hard to do when you create a group that is kind of responsible for all other.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So sales does the initial sale, and success does all other. What is that? Well, it's tech support. It's proactive. It's the emergency backstop when something goes wrong and we have to notify every customer, whatever it may be.
Right.
Yeah,
having a catch-all department is a bit of a challenge. And, what you guys described as well too, I was having discussions the other day and saying, is a time that organizations really need to have a chief collaboration officer to get everyone aligned and keep them throughout, and not just someone who's going to do the operational piece of the organization and keep the lights on in the office going, but really some, at an authority level that can get sales, marketing, success, product in a room and say, what are our disconnects and how do we break the, silo bust it? And, it may slow the process down in the short term, but the benefits on the back end will be exponential if you can do it well. So sort of there as well, I know you said you had some ideas around some best practices that you've seen or that you would like to see. Can you share some of those for folks to say, yeah, makes a lot of sense. What should people be doing?
Yeah, and again, this is one that I went out to my network for, and I feel pretty good about these. They are not just coming off of my brain. So things that the question I ask people is, what have you seen people do that you thought led them or led you, if they did it themselves, to really successful collaboration between your marketing function and your success function? And a couple things kind of rose to the top there and fell into nice categories. The first was formalizing your agreement on the shared truths. Again, now that we know that that's such an important thing, just make sure that you talk about it. Hey, are we agreeing on these 4 pieces? If we disagree, maybe we can agree to disagree, but at least we're aware that we're not fully aligned on that point.
Right.
Awesome best practice and starting point for people. Working from shared metrics is the single best thing I have seen to bring any 2 groups together. But marketing and success, we're each going to have our circle of metrics that we're going to track on everything. But every time we are collaborating, make sure that we're focusing on that overlap of where we can or should be looking at that same metric. There should be no handoffs. So if the reason we're doing a marketing campaign is to onboard more customers at a reduced cost, okay, measure that. That's important. So look further downstream to the outcomes or the impact of the shared work. Helps us stay away from our convenience metrics, which are important as indicators, but are not they're not the meat. So figure out what the meat is and measure how well we're doing that together. Having those shared metrics is a real powerful way to help us collaborate. Keeps us on the same track, talking about the same things and looking at the same indicators of if it's working or not. Dedicating a marketing resource to the collaboration and dedicating a CS resource to it. It does not mean that somebody's job is, I'm the marketing liaison and that's all I do, or I'm the success liaison from marketing and that's all I do. Not many organizations quite can invest, in something like that. But if it's a formal piece of somebody's role, and typically on the success side, it's the head of your success function, whoever that may be, make it somebody's role so they know that it is their responsibility in addition to others. But that creates a nice consistency and a sense of ownership, as opposed to just pulling in random designees, which again, that's a project model, not a strategic outcome-based model. So,
and that demonstrates executive commitment to it. If you're putting resources to something and making it dedicated, but that shows that it's important. And sorry, didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah. No, the last one is just an observation that many people do this, but leverage the success team, and this is more for the team, the frontline members of that team. Leverage them for events, the virtual, in-person, all of that. It's tempting to staff events only with salespeople so that we can see great throughput. That's important. It's tempting to staff the events with the marketing team because they all want to see the outcome of all the effort that went into it. That is important too. But the people attending that event are customers, and we can't predict what their needs are, what their questions will be. The people that are in the single best position to handle the broadest spectrum of what those customers are going to arrive with in terms of needs from the company or from that event is probably sitting on that success team. And it is an excellent way to embed collaboration, provide customers what they need in real time and often in person, and creates a really good, just tends to create a better environment when whatever the customer needs, there is somebody there that can take care of them, that has some consistency in that relationship, and just makes for better events. And I've seen that work almost every time, and I'm a big proponent, so I'm going to push it here as well.
I love that idea about events, because we've all been there. You got to, when you attend an event, it is a sales event. They are typically sales guys pushing you, but I've also seen where you work closely with sales and marketing, and you're so right. That point about you don't know what your customers are going to come to you with there, and your success team are the best place to be asked them. I love that way of thinking.
Yeah, and I think, since we're in such a show me society these days, that if you show me that you're sending your success people to your booth and that they're priority for them to be out there, and that's what you're talking about right up front. And in some cases, some customers may even prefer to speak to a CS person because they won't expect the hard push that you would get from a salesperson, which I think is really nice. I think those are some great tips. And just to close out then, because again, we do like to focus people on a bold challenge here. For those organizations that are looking to go big with their efforts here, to really align marketing and CS and get the most value from here, what bold action would you like to see them do to really drive this high impact marketing CS alignment?
It's a really good question. And thus far, we've been talking about kind of in-flight customer success and marketing collaboration and, tackling how that coordination or collaboration may work in the day-to-day activities. For a really bold, like if you want to go big and go bold, and you're like, gosh, we don't really collaborate right now, but we should. I'm a firm believer in early wins and big, hairy, audacious goals. And so if somebody really wanted to do this and wanted to get a huge jump start on an awesome success in marketing collaboration, create a team, a tiger team, whatever you call it. Everyone's got, a SWAT team, a tiger team, whatever your special team name is. Make one of those. And you're going to create this out of your marketing folks and your customer success folks, and put a big goal out there, something where they're going to have a shared outcome that has like immediate and high impact. So a couple of examples of things I've seen recently or worked with recently. We're going to look 6 months from now. We have a cohort that is up for renewal in 6 months. We're going to increase retention by 5% in that cohort. I didn't tell you how. The marketing and success get together, figure out how to make that happen. All right. What that does is it's already created shared goal, shared objective. All they have to figure out now is collaborating on the means for that. But marketing didn't arrive with this. Success didn't arrive for this. The company arrived and said, we need to achieve this outcome, and you all are going to do it. And that's a pretty powerful way to get a jump start. The other great one I saw was we're going to reduce the post-onboarding inbound calls and emails. It's kind of a mouthful. But basically, we're going to cut the needs that customers have immediately after onboarding, because how do we end every onboarding or implementation? You're set. I know you're good right now. You're going to have questions. That's fine. I'm there for you. That is time consuming. So it's great to be there for them. But what if we could reduce that by 50%? That has a huge impact. And then the other big impact one, like if you really want to like be bold, another idea for where to look for these shared projects where you're going to throw a tiger team at it and have awesome instant collaboration, is creating enough one-to-many success efficiency that it alters your human capital needs. And so almost everybody that's part of a growing company is like looking ahead and like, okay, by the end of the year, my team is going to be 4 people bigger in customer success based on, the new onboards that we have. Like I can do the math. Well, what if we got so efficient one-to-many, which is going to require collaboration with marketing, that we could cut our hiring in half? I guarantee you, everybody in the C-suite is going to be pretty happy if you could come back and say, because of this collaboration with marketing, I just cut my hiring needs in half for the year. We're going to perform better than we did before, but with fewer additional heads than we thought we needed to have. Every company will have a different set of what these may look like, but there's no shortage of projects with awesome, tangible, enterprise-wide benefits that only work if marketing and success are collaborating. So find those, create a special team to do it. It'll energize those people, provide value to your company, create better results for your customers, and create that early win. Like proving out that collaboration is something that could then sustain. Like you've seen it work, let's keep doing that. And that creates an excellent touchstone for an ongoing relationship between success and marketing.
I love that. That is just those kind of, that tiger team approach, I think is so important, because you know, that just you talking about it has created energy here. I mean, I'm feeling this. I want to go and do this. The big challenge I'd see is how do you keep that momentum going? It is demonstrating the value of that collaboration to the C-suite that then helps break down more silos. You know, it helps increase that collaboration across the business, but also starts demonstrating the value of what we can do with our customers. And really puts tangible benefits for the whole business.
Yeah,
fantastic.
I love those ideas too, and I like that they are some bold ideas. And for anyone out there who's listening to this podcast too, I'd invite you, if you have bold ideas, whether you've done them or would like to do them, comment in the captions below, post to us on LinkedIn, and tag Marty as well too, because we would love to hear your ideas for how you can be bold with aligning marketing and customer success. I think, you know, Marty's done a great great job of outlining the case for why this is important and why it can deliver tremendous benefits. So, Marty, before we sign off here too, and thank you so much for sharing these insights, please, how can people get in touch with you if they want to learn more or get your help? Please have a good shameless plug here.
I think the easiest way is probably either directly through my website or LinkedIn. So the website is infinipoint.com, INFINIPOINT, and on every page, there's 2 buttons at the bottom. One says, let's talk, to just reach out and reach me. And the other says, let's learn. And it's a link to start the process for a complimentary org assessment for their customer retention. So both of them are reaching out to me. It's just helping identify if we just want to have a conversation or specifically want to talk about the complimentary org assessment. But I'm reachable through there. And it's Marty Kaufman or on LinkedIn. And I love those LinkedIn connections. There's an excellent community now that's building around customer success, customer experience, using LinkedIn as a platform. And so happy to tap into that and connect with people that way too. Have come across a really good handful of awesome conversations through that I would not have had otherwise. So encourage people to reach out to me there as well.
Marty, can I just reiterate what Jason said? This again has been another awesome conversation. Thank you so much for spending time with us. Some awesome insights, and I'd love to get you back on with us in the future and just understand more about kind of your plans and what you've done. But such great insights. So a big thank you from us.
Yeah, and I truly enjoyed it as well too. Yeah, sorry, Marty. Yeah, I truly enjoyed it.
No, that's right.
I truly enjoyed it as well, and having spoken with Marty at length on some of these topics, I highly recommend you reach out to him. He's got a lot of great ideas that we didn't get a chance to cover. We'll put links to his information in the description below as well too, so hopefully you guys will get a chance to connect, and thank you so much. Have a great day, everyone.
Thanks, Marty. Bye-bye.